Welcome back to Impossibly Unremarkable, a podcast hosted by myself, Jonathan Butts, and my longtime friend, co-host, and ghoul, Elliot Monkson.
That is right. And we're back for another podcast. And today, we're just two sneaky little sneakers just sneaking into your space and just being real sneaky. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You're good?
I got my my dark chocolate banana whiskey.
Yeah, you're actually you're drinking like real alcohol right now.
Yeah.
Like that's like real stuff.
On the rocks. No chaser. Nothing to cut that.
You just said it was like chocolate flavored.
Yeah.
No chaser, bro. No chaser, dude.
It's all right.
It's all right?
Yeah.
It's not like one of your favorites?
No.
No? What is your favorite whiskey?
My favorite whiskey?
Or is that,
it's probably
you said that's
this.
whiskey?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably this. That sip was better than
Wait. You just said it's not great.
Not a big whiskey guy. The second sip was primo. The
Okay,
stuff you write
second
home
sip
about.
better
You
than
tell-
the
you know,
first.
you tell your mama about that second sip. The
Okay.
first sip, I don't think that enough ice had diluted it.
Well, if you're not drinking straight whiskey all the time, I mean, the first sip every
Yeah.
time is probably going to be like, oh.
You know what would be? I mean, this is very smooth regardless. But you know what this would be perfect in?
What?
And I've never made one, and I've never had one.
Okay.
A mudslide.
What is a mudslide? I've heard of a mudslide.
It's just like a boozy chocolate, or it's just,
Just
like
like a dessert
boozy
drink?
shake. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of sick.
But this, in a shake,
Yeah, that sounds good.
that would be good.
I remember when we went to school in Wisconsin, I remember going to like Milwaukee Burger, which was
Yes.
the big restaurant there.
love
That and
Milwaukee
Culver's
Burger.
were king. Milwaukee Burger,
I love Milwaukee
solid
Burger.
restaurant, but they had like these shakes that were like alcoholic shakes. There was one that was like bacon flavored. Like they were ridiculous. Some
Yeah,
of them were
that's
dessert and
gross.
some of them were like weird stuff that only weird Wisconsin people would order.
There's one 40 minutes from here, and I really there are days
Milwaukee
when-
Burger?
Yeah,
40 minutes from here?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Are you going to go?
I've
We could
thought
go
about it.
for
I
old
mean,
time's
You
sake.
can ask Emily. I've thought about it many times.
Yeah.
Pretty much just the cheese curds. You know, I'm a cheese curd fanatic.
You are. You're a big cheese curd guy.
I go hog.
That's why we call you Big Curd.
I go hog wild from some deep fried cheese.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't, man? You can't go wrong with deep fried cheese.
Do you even eat cheese anymore?
I still eat cheese. In fact, cheese is probably my like biggest weakness because I love cheese.
Are you Superman?
No, I just mean like in terms of like if I'm going to overeat something, it's going to be something with cheese on it.
And yet, when I offered you a stick of cheese the other night,
Well, you can't get me with just a generic cheese stick.
all right,
You just can't.
motherfucker.
You offer me a cheese stick, I'm not going to take the cheese stick unless
there's
I really want a cheese
some-
stick.
There's some beauty in a simple stick of cheese.
I mean, I like cheese sticks. Cheese sticks are fire. They're usually pretty low calorie. I still get my cheese and, get my fix without going overboard.
All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I'd say we should speed run
Oh.
our talks.
Oh, you want a speed run?
I want to speed run.
Right.
I mean, I have a lot to say. I had a big week. I had a huge week.
Huge week.
But it's the spooky season. So tonight we're going to be sharing some spooky stories.
Yeah, so we're going to modify the format a little bit
Yeah.
today instead of doing like our normal section segments, doing like bizarre news and question of the day. We're going to substitute those out and tell some spooky stories. And it's going to be a lot of fun because I love Halloween. I love getting spooky. And we did this last year, so I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah. And it's going to be three times better.
At least three times.
At least three
we
times
agreed
better
on
than
3 times, so it better be.
Last Friday,
Yeah.
I went and saw the Martin Scorsese film, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, how was that? That's the one with Leo.
It was very, very good.
Okay.
It might be top dog for Scorsese films.
Top Scorsese film.
might
That's
be.
actually a big claim.
It might be
That's
the
a
top.
huge thing to say.
I know.
Like, I don't think you understand the gravituity of the the thing you just said. You don't understand the is that a word, gravitude?
No.
You don't understand the
I'm trying to figure out
you
what
don't
you were
understand
meaning
the
to say.
weight of what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
You don't get the
Were you trying to say gravity?
the gravituity.
The gratuity.
No. No, you don't understand what you're saying, man. Scorsese, he's come out with some stuff. I'm sure I can name them all.
Name 3 others.
He did The Irishman.
Uh-huh.
He did he do The Godfather?
No.
I don't know, I'm lost.
Goodfellas. The
Oh.
Departed.
Oh,
The Wolf of Wall Street.
I do like The Wolf of Wall Street. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's up there for me.
The other
but
ones are boring.
Killers of the Flower Moon, it is a big commitment. It's 3.5 hours. It's a dog, you know.
I mean,
You got to wrestle that thing.
yeah, you got to get your paws on
the
it.
hours. You got to put in the work. But it was very, very good.
It's good?
Very well told. Hard to watch at points. You know, really touching, really heartbreaking, heart wrenching. Do you know anything about it?
It's about like Native American people,
Yeah.
and Leonardo DiCaprio's in it.
Yeah.
Does he get mauled by a bear in this one? Is that another Scorsese?
No, you're thinking of that Romeo and Juliet that he was in.
Oh yeah, that fun one where they still speak silly, but they're wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, it's like that movie sucks.
Some people love that movie.
I know, but it sucks still. It's
Yeah,
awful.
it's not great.
But basically, it's about like a chain of murders occurring in I think Oklahoma in like the 20s.
Oh,
Um,
damn.
in Osage indigenous tribe.
Sure.
Really fucked up, and all true, all true.
Right, based on a true story. There's some facts
based
behind
on
it.
a true story. It's based on a book that I think was written in 2017 called Killers of the Flower Moon. But it's so good, so
Sweet.
go watch it.
Nice.
I know you won't.
No, I need to see it.
I understand it's a huge commitment.
Well, I
especially
need to
with
see
a
it.
child.
I need to see it. I will eventually. I'm sure it'll just see it late, like with everything.
And then also on Sunday, we had a very fun day. We a bunch of us, not including you. You weren't.
No,
there.
I wasn't invited.
You weren't there.
I wasn't invited.
You were definitely invited. A group of us went to Rochester to celebrate our dear friend who goes by the name of Chloro Creations on Instagram.
Shout out Chloro Creations.
So if you're looking for some very, very cool art prints to purchase, check out Chloro Creations on Instagram. We have like 5 or 6 Chloro Creation originals here in the apartment right now. But she did... she got a grant to do some murals on some utility boxes in this nice little park. We got to do like a little tour and a walk all together, and it was a beautiful day and just a beautiful time. I'm not a huge art guy,
yeah,
but this is the kind of art that I can really sink my teeth into.
yeah, you can understand this type of art.
Like I get what's happening and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and I love it.
yeah.
It wasn't like we didn't get to the park and there was just like a toilet seat in the middle, and it was like, there wasn't like a little plaque on it that said, injustice.
Is that a real work of art you've seen?
I'm sure.
It sounds like it could be real.
I'm sure that is somewhere.
That sounds too real to be fake.
Yeah,
I
have an eye for modern art,
Yeah, no, that's
at
true.
least for fabricating it.
Yeah, no, I wish I could have gone. But I mean, it's tough. We have a child, and he was fussy that day, so we were kind of playing it by ear. And then we decided we did not want to make the drive with a fussy baby. So
Did you ever consider, and this is no offense to you and Megan's parenting style,
yeah,
did you ever consider he was fussy because he wanted to go?
that could have been it. I mean, you never know because he can't talk yet.
Yeah.
So we're not really sure what's going on in his little noggin. But yeah, he wasn't feeling good. I think it has to do with his teeth.
Oh,
Because he's teething pretty hard right now. And it makes him a little chirpy, Oh, you must be really good. For those of you not watching, he just made the biggest grimace of a face I've ever seen.
That the banana behind that one had some bite.
The banana.
Yeah.
There's banana in it?
Yeah, it's dark chocolate and banana.
Oh,
There's
sounds kind of
There's a gorilla on the bottle. It's very cute.
okay. But yeah, so I wish I could have been at the art thing. It looked awesome. Would have been great to see you guys. But yeah, shout out Sam because she makes good art. It's pretty sick, for real. It's dope. Check out Chloro Creations.
Chloro is in
Sick shit.
chloroplast, although my
Yeah.
mind always goes to chloroform. I'm just
Interesting.
I'm just that kind of
That's
guy.
just the type of guy you are, man.
Spooky season.
Chloroform is pretty spooky. Ooh.
What if like a disembodied hand just like reached around and just like
That'd be one of the coolest ways
Chloroformed
to
me?
discover that ghosts are real. A disembodied hand just chloroforming my friend right next to me live on a
Yeah.
podcast. That'd be incredible.
That would
Could you imagine?
We'd have perfect evidence.
We'd have great evidence, and the podcast would probably pop off. So that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
We'd have all types of people trying to get in contact with us. I mean, not you, because you'd most likely be passed away at that point.
What?
But I mean, I'm guessing this disembodied hand just grabs you and never lets go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think about that.
You didn't think about that? You didn't think that would be a possibility?
Unintended consequences here.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, when disembodied hands grab you, they might not let go. That's just something you got to consider when messing with the paranormal. Like, maybe, just maybe, if it is real, it's not something to be trifled with.
Ooh. What'd you do this week? You big hunka.
My week was great. We bought a car. Me and my wife bought a car. We bought a Subaru Forester. So, pretty sweet. I never actually bought a car from a dealership. I've been lucky enough to be able to just purchase them from family or whatever, or get cars which way. Legally, of course. But
remains to be seen.
But yeah, so we actually went to a dealership. We went to the old Bloomington Subaru here in MN. And crushed it. Just bought a car. It was sick. There was this other one we were going to buy, but also a Subaru Forester, but it had some accident history. Didn't want to bite the bullet on that one.
What kind of accident history?
Well, there was like 4 different accidents. Some of them were mild.
On the same car?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, but okay, it had low mileage. It was at a lower price. It seemed like a really great deal.
Well,
but I think it was too good to be true.
Is that like who's the guy who was like young and died in a car accident and like the car's cursed?
James Dean. James Dean.
Yeah, is it the James Dean car?
Yeah, it could be.
Jimmy?
Rebel Without a Cause. Is that the...
No, Jimmy Dean, that's the...
Jimmy Dean sausage. Wait, is it
derived
James
from
Dean or is it... I don't know. I'm sure some film buff out there could tell me. Who knows?
Producer. Look it up. I don't know if she can... Could she hear?
No. She wasn't... wow, okay, that's fine. No, that's cool.
Google Jimmy Dean. How lame would it be if it was like the same person?
Same person who made Jimmy Dean sausage, who also died in a car accident?
Yeah.
Or like descendants, maybe? It's all one.
Could be.
Jimmy Dean. Yeah, I don't know.
You think if you're going with Jimmy instead of James,
yeah,
you'd be more like free spirited.
Yeah, Jimmy seems lamer.
Does it?
Well, it seems a little more like Jimmy instead of James.
I mean, in this context, it's like
yeah.
It feels like lawyer versus balloon artist.
Balloon artist. That's the opposite of a lawyer, is a balloon artist.
Traditionally, yeah.
I'd say that's probably it's pretty accurate. I'd say a balloon artist is pretty opposite from a lawyer in terms of their day-to-day, work life, balance type of stuff. For sure. I'd say.
I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, one's in the courtroom screaming, yelling, making arguments. The other one making balloons, handing them to kids. Pretty different, if you'd ask me. Anyways, we bought a car. So I bought a Subaru Forester. It runs great. It's sick. It's awesome. That's it. I don't know. It's sweet. And then, I don't know, man. I've had a tough day. It's been a long day.
Well, Megan's out, so.
Yeah, Megan's on another work trip, so it's just me and Wesley. Shout out to my mother-in-law, Jody, for watching him right now, so I can be recording this podcast. But yeah, man, it's been a long day. Having a tough mental health day.
Aw.
And yeah, I feel awful, but I'm here. But I perform better when I'm depressed, so here we go.
I mean, isn't that just true?
That's just the truth.
Why do you think I'm... Why do you think I got this beautiful, handcrafted, impossibly unremarkable glass?
You don't get that from being mentally well.
Yeah.
You could never.
No. This certain type of genius that only comes out when you're just really fucking hate your
When
life.
you really just want to sit in a dark room and stare at a wall for a while. Yeah. That's it. I don't know. I didn't do anything else this week. I just bought a car.
I have an exceptional recommendation of the week.
Oh, God. Okay.
This one is, hot off the press.
Sure.
It's good.
What is it?
You're going to walk away saying, that recommendation might be the best recommendation I've heard in a good long while.
Really?
Yeah.
In a good long while.
In a good long while.
Wow.
It's media.
Okay.
It's multimedia. It's entertainment.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm ramping up to it.
I feel like this you amping it up like this is gonna make it really fall flat.
No. It is this new short series on Netflix. Called "The Fall of the House of Usher."
Oh, I've heard about this.
It is very,
It's
very
about
good.
Usher. And
It's
when he made yeah.
It's about the ramifications of the "Yeah" song.
Yeah, and how that affected club culture in the United States.
No, so it's created by this guy named Mike Flanagan.
Okay.
Who is deep into the horror scene.
Love it.
He's created several shows that are on Netflix right now that are all shorts, like short form. I don't know if short form is the right word, but short series, like a mini series, like 8 episodes, 9 episodes max, and it's one and done.
Sure.
He did the Haunting at Hill House, the Haunting at Bly Manor.
Nice.
Midnight Mass, I think, was the most recent one.
Oh yeah, that was big.
The Fall of the House of Usher, and basically this is a
A
series.
lot of houses.
Yeah, there are a lot of houses. I thought it would just the name of the house would change, but it would always be the Haunting at.
Oh, the Haunting at fill in the blank. Sure.
Yeah. But it's based on a series of short stories by none other than Edgar Allan Poe.
Ooh.
The namesake of the show, and all of the episode titles are different short stories.
Okay, sweet.
One of them, I think, episode 5 or 6, is The Telltale Heart, the one that everyone knows.
Yeah.
But basically, it is about this uber wealthy and rich family. It's this, at the head of the family is this rich asshole guy and his rich asshole sister, and they have the guy, not the girl. Mm-hmm. The brother has a bunch of kids.
Bunch of
kids, I think like 6 or 7. And the whole premise is that each of his children die.
Oh.
And each episode takes you through how that happens and how this whole story unfolds.
Wow.
And that's not a spoiler. That's like right from the get-go. It's like, boom, these kids are
They
dead.
lay it out for you.
Yeah. It is very good. This one is a lot, in some ways, a lot gorier than the last few series.
That's okay.
Series. But man, it's really good. It's very gripping. One of my favorite things about Mike Flanagan is in all of these short series he uses the same cast. It's almost like an American Horror Story type.
Okay, yeah.
Where it's a lot of recurring characters, but and it's just fun to see them, play out different roles and act in different ways, and it's a lot of fun. But very good. So I would highly recommend. I have one more episode to go.
Woo!
I watched a ton last night.
You binged it.
I did.
Nice.
It's very, very bingeable. And it's one of the coolest things about October, like the last few years. Got a new Mike Flanagan series to wait for.
That's sweet, man. It sounds good. I'll watch it.
It's very good. The Fall of the House of Usher.
Usher, but not the artist Usher.
Aw, I spilled a finger of whiskey on my
A whole finger of whiskey?
Isn't like a finger like...
I don't know. People measure it like this, right?
Yeah, not a whole finger. Maybe a drop.
How many fingers did you have in there?
Usually
4 fingers?
Usually I do... my fingers... my hands are very big.
Yeah, if you did 4 of your fingers, that'd be like a full glass. No, we're not doing that.
Why aren't we doing...
We're not doing that.
Why are we doing
Just
that?
to show everyone how small I am, how little I am. We get it.
We could do like a...
You're big, I'm small. That's our whole dynamic.
We could do a bicep comparison next.
Okay.
So, Jesus Christ. For those who are merely listening, who don't have the power of video.
Yeah.
This man, his shirt just ripped.
I just flexed so hard. Check out my OnlyFans. Just kidding.
I'm kidding.
I haven't gotten there yet. We'll see how the finances go the next couple of years.
You're like referring to it like it's like a natural...
Like it's inevitably going to happen.
Yeah, it's a natural step.
Of course. Absolutely. My recommendation of the week is also spooky. Have we talked about this movie? Talk to Me. Have you seen that movie? You have.
Talk to me.
That movie where they've got the hand.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
What?
We just watched it because it went on streaming. Or it's on Amazon, so we rented it.
It always be the people you be trusting most.
Why?
I wanted to see that movie.
Well, yeah, but I think we couldn't see it or something. Have you not seen it yet?
No.
Oh, it's great.
I want to watch it with you.
I'll watch it with you. It's really good. So
Fuck.
It's actually one of the darker movies I've seen in a while. It's a really good horror movie. It's
Like
essentially
just lighting.
Yeah, like the movie's dark. You can't even see anybody. No, like it's a pretty dark movie. It's about these kids get together at these parties and they break out this hand and they play paranormal games. And the premise is that this hand is like, the way they explain it is it's like this hand that was a severed hand of a psychic that was then cased in whatever, and now they use it to talk to the dead. So then they grab the hand, they say, "Talk to me." And then as soon as they say that, they see like a spirit of some kind. And then if they say like, "I let you in," then it enters them and possesses them for an amount of time until they let go of the hand.
Enters them, you say?
Yeah, it enters them. Goes inside them.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this hand is...
The hand doesn't go inside them. The spirit does. Yeah. Yeah. So as you could probably assume, hijinks ensues. Could you imagine going to a party and like, instead of doing the normal party activities, somebody just breaks out a paranormal game and all of a sudden you're talking to the dead? That'd be an awesome party.
I mean, I think you and I both share a fondness or a curiosity for silly, spooky, scary rituals. Mm-hmm. We always talk about summoning the Midnight Man.
I will be touching on some rituals later in this episode. Oh, and I'm kind of excited for it.
The camera's going to pan down and there's just going to be a pentagram beneath us.
We're actually going to play. I'm just kidding. We do it live on the podcast. That's actually a good idea. We should have done that.
I do have a spare mold of my hand if you wanted it.
You just have a spare?
Yeah.
Well, are you a psychic though? Can you speak to the dead?
No, and it's not really in a position that you could hold it.
Oh, well,
it's like
okay. Somebody is so like they get a mold of their own hand made so that they can masturbate more efficiently.
What? What?
Gross!
That's not at all what I was saying.
What do you use it for?
Chuck's Corn or some shit.
Okay. Anyways, the movie's good. Talk to Me is really good. I really liked it. I would recommend it. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a good movie. It's a good horror movie, and yeah, pretty sick. Possession, kids being crazy. It's got everything.
Hijinks
ensues.
You should start like a movie review blog.
Okay.
But I want like
But like all of them are like pretty much the same. It's just I give the description for like a few sentences and then I just end it with hijinks ensues.
Yeah. Like the same tone for every movie.
Well, I don't want to ruin it. I just want you to use your imagination. Hijinks ensues.
Jack and Rose meet on a giant boat.
They fall in love.
They fall in love and hijinks ensue.
And before you know it, hijinks ensues.
Titanic. 3 stars out of 5. Do you want to go first or shall I?
I would like for you to go first.
Sweet. So part of our 3-part series covering the spookiness and
this is actually one of 3.
We're gonna share some scary stories.
Woo!
If you grew up in our generation, which is Gen Z,
I'm technically a millennial, but I'm more of a Zer.
You're probably familiar.
Is that what you guys call yourselves?
Zoomers.
ZBs. Zoobies.
Zoop zap.
Okay.
You're probably familiar with these books, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. We actually don't have the original, so I don't know that I've read anything in 3.
Is that the 3rd one?
This is the 3rd, and then More Scary Stories is number 2.
Oh, sweet.
But I'm gonna pick a story, and I'm gonna read it to you
at random, or did you?
At random. Well, I'll let you pick. More Scary Stories in the Dark or Scary Stories 3.
I want to start with 2 and then go to 3.
We're doing multiple. All right.
Well, or are you just reading one? I thought you were going to utilize both books.
I can utilize both books.
Well, I didn't know. It's the floor is yours, son. Do what you want with it.
All right. Ooh, that looks like a meatball.
I think that literally was a meatball.
Let me clear my throat.
Okay.
All right, this is, to reiterate.
You're going to put spooky music on it. You're going to like...
More scary. I don't know how to do it.
You're going to add in spooky music?
Ooh. I'm just going to...
You just want me to do that the whole time?
Yeah. More Scary Stories in the Dark. This is from 1984. What the fuck?
Yeah, of our
So
generation.
it's not not just our generation, I guess. All right. The story is The Little Black Dog.
Nice.
Billy Mansfield said that a little black dog followed him wherever he went, but he was the only one who saw it, so people thought he was kind of crazy. To drive the dog away, Billy was... I'm like half tipsy. Billy was always hollering at it, throwing rocks at it. That's really fucked up.
That's really messed up.
But the dog always came back. The first time Billy saw the dog, that was the day he fought Silas Burton. I'm assuming that's like
Another person.
an
maybe.
antagonist. Billy was just a young man then, but the Burtons and Billy's family had been feuding for years. It's like a deep,
Feuding for
rich lore here. When Billy saw Silas riding toward him, he went for his gun, and Burton went for his.
What is this
What?
story?
I thought this was like about a kid going to school. But Billy fired first. He hit Burton in the back, knocking him from his horse. Burton's horse ran off, and his gun fell where he couldn't reach it. He lay there on the ground,
Oh.
pleading with Billy not to kill him. But Billy
Jeez.
killed him anyway.
Are you serious?
Burton's little black dog was with him when he was shot. The dog kept licking Burton's face and barking and snarling at Billy. In his anger, Billy killed the dog too.
No. Dude.
There wasn't much law enforcement in those days, or these days either, so Billy wasn't arrested.
Okay.
But all
wow.
that night, he heard Burton's dog outside his cabin, scratching on his door and barking to be let in.
Oh.
I'm imagining this, Billy said to himself. I shot that dog. It's dead. I picked a bad one. I hate dogs dying.
Imagine just saying, I shot that dog.
But the next morning, Billy saw the dog. It was waiting for him outside.
No.
From then on, there was not a day when he didn't see it. And there wasn't a night when he didn't hear it scratching on his door, barking to be let in.
Oh.
Woof! Woof! That's not in there. That was a little
I like that.
artistic liberty there.
Nice.
Whenever someone told him there wasn't any dog to see, he'd say, maybe you don't see it, but I do. And I'm not any crazier than you are. Another creative liberty there.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Things went on like that for many years. Then one morning, in the middle of the winter, the neighbors didn't see any smoke coming out of Billy's chimney. When they went over to check, Billy wasn't there. A day or so later, they found his body lying in the snow in a field in the back of his cabin. No. Billy had plenty of enemies, and at first it seemed like somebody might have killed him, but there wasn't a mark on his body. And there weren't any footprints out there, except for Billy's. The doctor said Billy probably died of old age, but there was something odd about his death. When the neighbors found Billy, there were black dog hairs on his clothes. There were even a few on his face. This is a terrible story. It smelled like a dog had been out there. Yet no one had seen a dog anywhere.
Could you imagine? It smells like dog out
Smells
here.
But there's not a dog anywhere near here.
That's so weird. It smells
I'm
like
gonna be
dog.
honest, that was terrible.
I mean, that's just the moral of the story. Don't kill a dog because you'll just end up dying too. And I think that is a statistic that 100% of people who kill dogs also die. So
That is true.
that's true.
I can find a better one.
Okay.
Ooh, this one's called The Curse.
That's got to be good.
It's about a guy named Charlie Potter.
Okay. Good name.
This feels
Strong name.
This feels like it's.
Chuck Potter.
I will use Chuck instead of Charlie. My dad's friend, Charlie Potter. What? Hi, I already fucked
You
up.
already fucked it up.
Chuck Potter
Chuck Potter.
was a small, nervous man who was always looking around, as if he was in some kind of danger. After he told me this story about his college fraternity, I understood why. Chi
Amazing.
Alpha Delta. Kidding. The frat doesn't exist anymore, he said. It was banned years ago.
We know why.
We know why. If you're a frat guy, we know why.
We know why.
We had just 9 members at the point, and we were taking in 2 more. Jack Lawton and old Ernie Kramer.
What are these names?
One night in January, just about this time of year, the 9 of us took them out into the country for their initiation. Oh.
Oh.
We took them to an old deserted house where 2 young men about our age had been murdered recently.
Why?
Their murderer was still at large.
Oh.
We gave Jack a lighted, I'm going to say lit. A lit candle and told him to go up to the 3rd floor. Stay there for an hour, we told him. Then come back down.
A whole hour?
A whole hour.
That's so long.
Shut up, Jack. Don't speak. Don't make any noise. If your candle goes out, carry on in the dark. This is very midnight.
Very Midnight Man-esque.
Midnight Man-esque. Nice. From where we were standing, we could see the light from Jack's candle moving up the stairs to the 2nd floor, then to the 3rd. But when he got to the 3rd floor, his candle went out.
No.
We guessed that he had come to a drafty corner, and the wind blew it out. But when the hour went by, and he didn't come down, we weren't so sure. We waited another 15 minutes and got more and more nervous. So we sent old Ernie Kramer up after him.
That is a guy who needs "ol" in front of his name.
Right? I'm just added it.
Old Ernie Kramer.
When Ernie got to the 3rd floor, his candle also went out.
That damn draft.
That fucking drafty
Close
corner.
the windows.
We waited 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but there was no sign of either of them. Come on down, we called, but they didn't answer. Finally, we decided to go get them. Armed with flashlights, we started up the stairs. It was as quiet and dark as a grave in that house. When we got to the 2nd floor, we called out again, but there was no answer.
Old Ernie Kramer. Jack.
It's Chuck. When we got to the 3rd floor, we walked into a great big open space like an attic. Jack and Ernie weren't there, but we saw footprints in the dust. These led to a room on the other side of the attic. That room was also empty.
Oh.
But there was fresh blood on the floor, and the window was wide open. It was about 25 feet to the ground, but there was no ladder nor rope in sight that they could have used to get down.
Oh.
We searched the rest of the house and the land around the house and found nothing. We decided that they were playing a trick on us. We figured that in some way they had escaped through the window and were hiding in the woods. The blood on the floor was to throw us off the track.
Obviously.
We guessed that they'd show up the next day with a lot of stories and
What?
a lot of laughs.
No fucking way.
But they didn't. The next day, we told the Dean of Men what had happened.
Wait, the what? The what? Is that a common thing everyone knows about?
The Dean of Men.
The Dean of Men.
The police didn't find anything either, and after several weeks, the search ended. To this day, no one knows what happened to Jack Lawton and Ernie Kramer. Oh, there's more to the story.
Oh.
I kind of felt like it was just done.
That's what I thought.
There isn't much more to tell, he said. We weren't arrested, but the college disbanded the fraternity and suspended the 9 of us from school for a year.
It was 9 guys. It wasn't really a fraternity, more of just like a sad club.
It's not over. I just had to adjust my headphones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The strangest part came after we graduated. Someone must have placed a curse on us. Every year since then, around that time of the initiation, one of us has died or gone crazy. I'm the only one left, he said, and I'm in pretty good health. But there are times when I feel just a little peculiar. There's a stage direction that says now rush at someone in the audience and scream. I'm not going to do that.
Wait, is this a play?
I don't know what this is. That one wasn't very good either.
That was great. What do you mean? Wait, I don't get... So we're just... Ernie Kramer went missing and that's it?
I'm assuming they got murdered.
I mean, maybe, but... Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
I feel like book 3's got to have more, you know?
Yeah, I feel good about book 3.
I'm going to read off a couple titles, and I want you to tell me which one you want to.
Okay.
Which one you hear. Oh, that's just a list of other works by Alvin Schwartz.
All right, let's go. Come on. Jesus Christ. Hurry up.
To Justin. That's the dedication.
Oh. Shout out Justin.
Boo Man.
Yeah, that one.
The Appointment. The Bus Stop. Faster and Faster. Just Delicious. Hello, Kate. The Black Dog.
Boo Man.
Other 2. Just the first one. All right. This story is titled Boo Man.
Boo Man.
The girl was late getting home for supper, so she took a shortcut through the cemetery. But oh, it made her nervous.
Why go through the cemetery if it makes you nervous?
It was a shortcut.
Who cares?
When she saw another girl ahead of her, she hurried to catch up. Do you mind if I walk with you? She asked. Walking through the cemetery at night scares me. I know what you mean, the other girl said. I used to feel that way myself when I was alive.
Oh, okay. Just right out with it. I'm a ghost.
Rip that bandage off real quick. There are all sorts of things that scare us. The dead scare us, for one day we'll be dead like they are. The dark scares us, for we don't know what is waiting in the dark. At night, the sound of the leaves rustling, or branches groaning, or someone whispering makes us uneasy. So do footsteps coming closer. So do strange figures we think we see in the shadows. A human, maybe, or a big animal, or
Sharks.
some horrible thing we can barely make out. People call these creatures we think we see boo men.
Oh.
We imagine them, they say. But now and then a boo man turns out to be real. This next word is in the book.
That worries me a little bit that you just said.
It is in the book, and this book is from
No, just wait if it's... No, read it.
Queer Happenings Scare Us Too.
Okay, well, come on. That's just
I wasn't going to say the N-word. It wasn't going to be the N-word.
Well, like, that's not a bad usage of that word.
I know. I just...
Queer is not...
I know we're trying to take the word back, but there is a historical...
In that context, it's not...
Yeah. Okay.
Queer happenings means, like, odd happenings.
I understand what it means. I understand.
Okay.
I'm a thespian. We hear of a boy or a girl who was raised by... What does this have to do with the first part?
I don't know, man. You're reading.
We hear of a boy or a girl who was raised by an animal, a human being like us who yelps and howls and runs on all fours. The thought of it makes our flesh crawl. We hear of insects that make their nests in a person's body, or of a nightmare that comes true, and we shudder. Ooh. If such things really do happen, then they could happen to us. It is from... This isn't forward. This isn't a story.
What? This is a what? Oh. All right, you're done.
Why did it open with a story?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's all from Alvin Schwartz. Nowadays, most people say they don't believe in ghosts and queer happenings and such, yet they still fear the dead in the dark, and they still see the boo men waiting in the shadows, and they still tell scary stories, just as people always have.
Nice.
You picked it.
I didn't know.
You picked Boo Men.
Well, I liked it.
Thank you.
It's great.
That one I felt the most passionate about.
Well, that
I'll
was
let you
great.
take over.
Thank you for reading those. Those were great. Those were really great. Just got to know what happened to old Ernie Kramer.
Poor guy. He's stalling. He's trying to pull up these scary stories. And the ones he's about to read, he wrote them himself. Please do not judge.
Yes.
Unless they're bad, then
That's not
feel
true.
free to judge.
I didn't write these. All of these are coming from Reddit. So they're true accounts. This one is entitled, My Experience with the Midnight Man.
Oh. We didn't do this one last year, did we?
No. I double-checked to make sure. We did not cover the Midnight Man.
Good.
December 23rd, 2013. Me, Jake. His name's Jake. And my cousin, Tom, were at a home alone. My parents and siblings had left for Maryland earlier in the day to visit our grandparents for Christmas. The plan was for us to join them on Christmas Eve. I had to dog sit, and my cousin Tom was keeping me company. Nice. They had left at roughly 2 p.m., and by night, we were completely bored. We started watching some horror movies and had gotten in the horror movie mood. After they started the okay. Not scared, but excited. It's hard to explain the feeling. Excited to be scared? So, a quick Google search led us to this amazingly simple game. We had everything we needed already at home, and we could do it. This was something neither of us believed would work even the tiniest little bit. Our plan was to disprove it for science!
Classic.
Smart, right?
Very smart.
Let me describe my house real quick. Pretty average 2-story home, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, large basement, and a living room. They didn't mention a kitchen, so interesting.
Not
11
very
p.m. This is to me when our night started. We started to assemble everything we could in the kitchen. 2 large candles, 2 note cards, a sewing needle, 2 lighters, 2 baggies of salt, and a silver cross on a chain, which was hung on my sister's door to keep whatever we summoned out of it.
A witch's
if it
hat,
worked.
a broom, an eye of newt.
When we finished collecting all of this, we were getting pretty excited, and we were definitely no longer bored. 11:58. After writing down our names, both me and Tom pricked our fingers and put a dot of blood on our pieces of paper and stepped outside with all our supplies. We placed our bloodied names on the doorstep and waited for midnight. At 11:59, we knocked on our own door 22 times. Midnight. We walked into my house, lit our candles, and commenced the game. It was pretty simple for a while, walking around pretending we could feel cold spots and basically playing the paranormal investigator. We played this for about an hour before we got bored. I decided I was done playing this dumb game and sat down on the couch with my candle and talked to Tom, who was feeling pretty much the same as I was about the game. We managed to talk for about maybe 5 minutes. As I was looking at Tom, and he was looking around when he stopped talking in mid-sentence, his eyes fixed on something. Without saying a word, I looked over to see what he saw. In that doorway was a very black outline. It was in all caps.
Okay.
It's in all caps!
Okay.
Darker than pitch black, blacker than the blackness of the house outlined in the darkness.
All right.
This thing was standing in the doorway to the kitchen leading to the living room. It was almost human, but so much worse. His head was touching the top of the doorway, and its shoulders were touching the sides. This thing's arms were down near where my knees would be if I stood in that doorway. Okay. This thing's eyes were the darkest part. It looks like the darkness condensed so far that it created a hole in the world. It looked right at us. The only reason I know that is this thing was not a figment of imagination, was that when I started describing it, Tom finished the description. We ran into my room, which had felt safest the entire night. We did not shut the door, okay, which was against the rules. If you closed the door, it would know exactly where you were, okay. So we saw this thing pass the door and go down the hallway. As it did this, the draft it created blew out my candle. A draft is too kind of a word. This was a wind.
A drafty corner.
I could not get it to light. Finally, I lit my candle at the 10-second count. Tom was freaking out about it, and I was desperately praying I didn't need to draw a salt circle. If I did, Tom would have to venture out alone, and I would be left sitting on my own in a circle of salt in the pitch black with no candle and darkness for company. At this point, we decided we needed to get downstairs and stay there. 2:30 a.m. We walked quickly but silently down the stairs and huddled in the basement corner near the fireplace. I do not know how we managed it, but we somehow managed to create what I can only describe as a bubble of positive energy.
A what?
A bubble of positive energy. During this time, we talked about everything we could that we could keep the good energy. Okay? This was by far the hardest thing I have done. How hard is it to think good things, you might ask? Well, the entire time we were downstairs, footprints were stomping up and down the stairs, all through the kitchen and the hallway above us. And every once in a while, we could see a face looking at us from the stairs. When 3:33 finally came around, the worst part was that my phone suddenly turned on at full volume. No! I take this as the thing saying goodbye in its own way. We immediately left and booked it out of there and just got in the car and drove till daylight, neither of us able to believe what just happened. Okay. So if you're watching on YouTube, you notice that the video stopped because we had technical difficulties there. We stopped recording, which honestly was very convenient because it stopped at the exact end of that last story.
Very, very eerie.
Very convenient, really.
Strange.
Very nice. Perfect place to stop. But anyways, don't play with the Midnight Man. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
He might even be here with us right now, seeing as he stopped our recording. He said, "Don't talk about me."
I could shittily edit him into the Not that this is a very big space, but I could edit it
Yeah,
right behind
just
you.
kind of like throw them right there.
Yeah,
Perfect.
just a shadow.
Yeah. Okay, so this next story is about another ritual, as you know, because I already started it, and but we weren't recording. It's the man in the fields ritual, which you know nothing about.
Is he a farmer?
Maybe.
I'm not doing that.
Do you really want to try the man in the fields ritual? So you say you want to try the man in the fields ritual. I'd tell you not to, but if you're reading this, you're probably already hell-bent on doing it. But I want to tell you that about half of what you've read on the internet is misleading and could get you killed. This is not one of those games you played as a kid. It's not the stare ritual where 90% of the people who try it never make contact, and they should be grateful with the entity because the preparation is so complicated, and it's not Bloody Mary, where she's not showing up unless she's really hungry, and since generations of kids all over the US and Canada keep calling her, she's usually not. No, although the man in the fields is a simple ritual, the odds are heavily against you, and most of the people who have tried it over the centuries have died. I can see by your expression that you still want to do this. I can see.
You're right.
Okay, first off, you may have read that the thing called the man in the fields is not the devil. That's true. The man in the fields is a lesser demon, but is far from the lowest in rank and is far cleverer than you. Second, you cannot do this ritual in the suburbs. A big yard is not sufficient. You need to be in a rural area without close neighbors. The man in the fields likes nocturnal quiet and the kind of privacy you can only have way down in the country on a farm or a cabin on a larger estate. He wants to play with you at his leisure.
Yeah.
He wants
I'm doing this one.
He wants to play with you at his leisure and without interruption. That's a fucked up sentence. He also enjoys watching the reactions of the shocked people who eventually find his victims and hearing the stories told about what they found. There's no mystery or privacy in the burbs. It's true. Somebody will be grilling, walking the dog, or tending their medical marijuana plants in their backyard, and that just spoils his fun. Third, do not attempt this if anyone else is in the house, or make damn sure that your companion knows what you're doing and will follow your instructions even if they don't believe in the ritual. Fourth, don't think you can cheat by renting an empty house or taking all of your stuff to a storage unit. It's been tried before. The man in the fields is, like all of his kind, extremely legalistic.
What?
This ritual must be performed in your house, and it must be a real, lived-in home. You may have to play the man in the fields game fairly, or he will take your head right from the moment you summon him.
He'll take my head?
Yeah.
The man in the fields is a freak.
Finally, you need to prepare your house and yourself. Walk through the whole place and study everything. Look in your cabinets and in all your drawers. It's the one door or box that you forgot about that will doom you. On the day of the ritual, get plenty of rest. It is imperative that you be sharp and ready for this intense action well before midnight. If you are mentally sluggish or in any way physically impaired, your chances of success are around 0. Ready? No, you're not. Go back and read this again and come back with a damn good ruse to get your family out of the house for the entire night. Once you've done that, read the summoning instructions that can be found readily on the spooky story sites again. The summoning and closing descriptions are accurate. When you hear the voice say, "That's not your biggest problem," it's showtime, and here's where things go bad. Let's say you don't hear the voice. So basically the whole thing is you'll summon him, and then he'll say, "That's not your biggest problem."
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say you don't hear the voice. Something is wrong. The man in the fields is displeased. You may have read that there are no known consequences for this. Not true. Haul your ass out of there now, and don't come back before 6 a.m. or whenever sunrise happens in your locale. Every living thing in your house that is higher than insects, fish, or vermin such as mice will be dead when you return. This is why it's so important that anyone is with you when you try the ritual. If anyone is with you when you try the ritual, they must be willing to leave when you tell them to bug out. Grabbing your dog or putting your bunny in the carrier and going to a hotel is easy, but walking your parents or a spouse up, waking them up and telling them that you summoned a demon and it's gone wrong, so you all have to leave right now, is impossible, unless they are occult practitioners themselves. If not, they're going to be pissed and will refuse to listen to your apparent dumb prank. You know those cases of whole families disappearing, being found dead in the house? Mostly the result of purely human action, drugs, home invasion, mental illness, or narcissistic family annihilators. But occasionally, it's because somebody in that house messed with forces they did not understand. Let's say the ritual goes right and you are madly rushing around, shutting things, and waking up your unaware loved one who is peacefully sleeping Okay, this sentence is just wrong. Peacefully sleeping in a safe room. How are you going to explain what's going on, smarty pants? I love the tone of this.
It sounds like an asshole.
In the past, people have tried to solve the inconvenient or uncooperative family member problem by I don't know what that is. Morphine, modern sleeping pills.
Did you say this one would read better?
I thought it would, but now that I'm actually reading it, I don't know. Or I don't think I can read.
Oh.
If you saw the man in the fields and he's screaming and banging at the door of your safe home, no drug known to mankind will keep your loved ones asleep. The freak out to end all freakouts will inevitably follow it and will end in death. If you risk innocent life this way, you deserve to lose. Now let's talk about the Asher Man.
What?
The Ash-in Man. The Ashen Man. You may have read that he is harmless as long as you don't look him in the eye. Now, does that make sense? When you started this, you contacted a demon. Nothing about this ritual is benign or neutral. Yes, the Ashen Man is sort of a line judge or referee. He will follow you around and watch to see if you are cheating, and he silently takes note of anything you left open. It's true that he will not interfere with you or do any direct violence to you, but have you ever thought about who the Ashen Man really is and why he's riding shotgun with the man in the fields? The Ashen Man is a once human servant of the man of the fields. He has one power of his own, and if you look at him in the eye, you will stop what you are doing and stand slaw-jawed, just staring at him.
Slack-jawed is what they meant to say?
It said slaw.
Slaw.
Like coleslaw.
Coleslaw-jawed.
You will fail the ritual, and the Ashen Man will finally be free of his bond and the man in the fields because you will take his place. So, don't stop to look at him, keep moving, and get to work. There are descriptions of what happens if you are foolhardily or just plain foolish to look out the window and see the man in the fields. It's absolutely true that you have a minute at most to get to your safe room. You better run like an Olympic sprinter because the man in the fields is fast. If your door is locked and you have a good solid door frame, he can and has kicked doors in. And you have your crucifix in hand, and everything that can be opened in the safe room is closed, you will survive the night. I have yet to see a description of how bad it will be for you while you wait. The man in the fields will scream threats out about how he's going to hurt you before he finally takes your head. He will threaten the lives of your family. He will talk to your loved one, if present. Have you been perfectly faithful to your spouse? Have you ever done anything you'd just about die of shame over if anyone in your family heard about it? Well, confess it now, because the man in the fields will tell your sins.
I have no idea what's going on with this game.
I could explain the game further after. He will say things about your mother to tell how your grandpa suffered before he died. He will tell you that he will make you watch as he kills your loved one. He will say all this and more, and then he'll promise that if you just open the door and bow down to worship him, he will let you live. Untold numbers of people driven mad with fear have opened the door, and they all died. If none of this happens and you did everything right, you followed the rules, you kept your family and friends out of this, and you are confident that you closed every damn open thing in the house before midnight and did not lay eyes on the man in the fields, then go to bed in the safe room. If you wake up, you will have your reward. Everything that you may have read on the internet or heard from friends about the reward is accurate except for one small thing. You can't dance with a demon and not get burned. Yes, you can get physical safety, the money, if you did the ritual within an hour before midnight. You'll even be able to go to you'll even be able to do the wild, crazy stuff with no blowback, like spitting in the face of a mafia don or climbing mountain with no oxygen. I lost my place.
I thought there was a long, dramatic, pregnant pause.
You may warn your listener all you want, but you must pass on the story of this ritual or you will die. It's unclear how you die, but it's likely to be unpleasant considering whom you're dealing with. If your listeners try the ritual and survive, well, good. If not, well, that's one more thing you will have to live with. That's it. I've done my part. I played this game when I was 17. I won, and I admit that my winning year was an extraordinarily lucrative one for me and my family. I'm 51 now and plan to stick around for them for at least 100 years or so.
What?
Thanks for listening. You may proceed however you wish, but I have done what I was bound to do, and I will sleep well tonight.
The Man in the Fields game just sounds like a hassle.
So that story was more about what will happen when you play it.
Yeah.
I could describe what the actual game is.
If you could. There was a point where I'm like, did he say how you play this game?
You know, I thought...
I understand that you're supposed to close anything that can be opened.
Yes.
And you have an hour to do so.
Right.
And you shouldn't involve any family and any living creature above an insect. I guess that means more intelligent than an insect.
Well, everything's going to be dead. So
Yes.
basically, you picked up on most of it, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Pretty
the whole
perceptive.
premise is that you're summoning this man. The way you do that is you go outside with a candle, you face your home. So hopefully you're out in the country, in the rural area, and behind you is maybe fields, forests, something like that. You go out there with a candle, you turn your back to the fields, so you're facing your home. You have the candle out in front of you, and you look down at it, and you whisper. It's like a phrase. It's like but who will scare the crows away? You whisper that 7 times to yourself, and then you go inside because you've summoned the man in the field. That's it. That's all it takes.
Oh.
So
straightforward.
then once you're inside, what you have to do is you have to close everything in your home that is open. Everything. Every door, every window, everything that is open. If you have like containers in your little cupboards, close them. If you have anything that can be opened, needs to be closed. That's the whole game. And you have to do it before midnight, and then you can go to sleep. The other thing is, so talked about rewards. So you're right. If you do it in an hour, so if you started at 11 and end at midnight, then you get like riches for the rest of your life. If you do it within 2 hours, I believe you get like health or something for the rest of your life.
Health or something?
Something like that. And then in like 3 hours, so if you started at 9 and at 12, then you get something like some type of something. I don't remember. There's 3 different things.
Okay.
But who wouldn't want the cash money? You know what
I
I'm
would
saying?
take the cash money.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, don't summon the man in the fields. Also, the Ashen Man, his little friend.
The umpire.
Don't look at him, the
referee.
referee. Hopefully they're not like the NFL referees.
God, I hate them.
Yeah, don't look at him or you will become him.
That is all the time we have.
Yeah, I don't have another one.
Today. Any spooky closing thoughts for you?